Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode of the Payam Ali Podcast where we talk about everything real estate. And today is our first episode. So I'm your co-host, by the way. Sorry, it's very new to me as well. I'm Daniel, I'm the co-host. This is Payam.
Hey.
The host? You're the main host? No, you're not technically a host. What do you call you?
I work in the back.
No. That's Marvin right there.
I work in the back.
Yeah, so
Marvin,
say hi, Marv.
Say hi to everyone.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, I think
It could be a little bit better of a
right?
hey, like a little bit more like a hi.
Okay,
Let
relax.
everyone know you're here.
Just
There you go.
okay. Going straight to the point. These are the topics we're going to be discussing today. At first, Bank of Canada flags household debt stress ahead of June 10th rate decision. That's one. So this came out on May 28th, 2026, and the next announcement is going to be on June 10th, 2026. BC housing market data points to slower sales and more listings. That is sort of old news, but we're going to get into the numbers and see what the hell's happening. We know the market's not been doing that great for a while now, but there are some interesting numbers here. I really want to know what you think, Payam. Now, next topic. Burnaby strengthens tenant protection for redevelopment. So you know how hard it was to kick tenants out? Now it's even harder, right? For good or worse, we'll talk about it as well. And next headline: former Molson Brewery site could shift from an industrial to a mixed-use high-rise. So that'll be interesting to see what they have planned over there. So it's a 7.7 acre lot, and the brewery operation ended in 2019. We'll see. And yep, that's today's agenda. So, Payam,
Let's do it.
let's do it.
What do you want to know?
Well,
Bank of Canada flags household debt stress ahead of June 10th rate decision, eh?
yep.
So
So the Bank of Canada released its financial stability report on May 28th, saying Canada's financial system is still functioning well, but vulnerabilities, there we go, have increased in some areas. The bank specifically pointed to elevated household debt and pockets of households of financial stress, with the next interest rate announcement scheduled for June 10th, 2026. So, what do you think is going to happen to the rates, Payam?
I think they're either going to, there's a very high probability I think they might raise rates.
Raise rates?
Yeah, I think
With
they might
this
raise
economy?
rates. Yeah, with this economy, because right now we're from real. This is my opinion. I'm seeing that they're going to be taking over. In reality, the gas prices went up this morning again.
Yep.
The deal between Iran and America does not seem like it's happening.
No.
Okay.
See, Marvin, can you search that up? What's going on with Iran and the US as we speak? What's the latest news on that war? So what's going on? Live update. Okay, let's go back. Iran war live update. Israel and Iran step. I'm not wearing glasses. You want to read that?
Iran war live update. Israel and Iran step back from threats after day of tension. Now, when was this dated? This is the 2nd. I heard this morning that because of what's happening in Lebanon with Israel, Iran just pulled back and said, like, you know what? We're not going to be doing a deal with you guys indirectly right now. We don't want to talk to you guys. I noticed that oil prices went up this morning. Here's my take on what's going to happen. I think rates either going to get held or they might increase in this year. Buyers are going to panic and think that rates are going to start going up. There's going to be a little bit of a jump in the market where people are going to be buying, and you're going to see a little bit of a peak of people buying to just catch in that good rate that they have locked in before their fear of maybe rates going up again. And then I think doomsday is upon us right after that.
Doomsday's upon us. So you're not very optimistic about what's going on with the market.
Oh, I'm not that optimistic right now. What's going on with the market? I think we might be seeing another year or two of a little bit of a slow down here.
Yeah, but I mean that does depend a lot on the headlines, right? Because if gas prices ease, right, we're going to see it's going to be a different story.
Of
because
course.
people are not financially doing well right now. The economy's not doing.
That's
great
what I'm
for
kind
them
of
to be
shocked when you're
increasing.
saying that the Bank of Canada says household debt stress ahead of June 10th decision is actually like okay, but then they're coming out and saying we're in a technical recession, which doesn't make really much sense to me. 2 quarters right now, we haven't seen any increase in our GDP, just a decline. But then yet household debt, they're saying the Bank of Canada released its financial stability report on May 28th, saying Canada's financial system is still functioning well. I don't know how is that functioning well, but then headlines are saying other things.
Well, it's not functioning well. It's just not. It hasn't failed yet, right? That's sort of what we're seeing because we're not in a recession yet on a technicality.
We're the only country in the G7 summit that's in a technical recession. Like our economy is doing the...
We're in a technical recession.
Okay, yes. Look, we're not in a recession yet, but everything is pointing towards a recession.
Everything's pointing towards a recession. That's correct. Yeah. So I think the reason...
Headlines are freaking everyone out right now. Okay?
Right.
Headlines are generally freaking everyone out right now. And people are just looking at the headline and saying, okay, let's step back. Fear. The main driver right now why things aren't moving is fear. People are seeing too much instability. This is my opinion. Mm-hmm. So we will wait and see. It's about 10 days away, 9 days away for their rate decision. We'll see how they'll hold it. I think there'll be a very high chance they're going to hold this one and the next one's going to rise.
Okay, so my question is this.
Yeah.
You're buying right now. You're a buyer.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you do right now? Do you wait to see what happens with the rates? I mean,
here's the thing.
You only have, 9 days?
In every market, there's opportunity. Yeah. So if you're a buyer right now and you're thinking about buying, you have an upper hand on being able to get a great deal right now. Right? Again, are you an end user or are you an investor? If you're going to be buying a property right now to want to flip it and reno it, I'd be like, okay, maybe, think twice. But if you're an end user and you're buying right now and you want to buy a home, okay, and you want to take advantage of the rates being lower right now in case they go up, or prices being really high right now, prices coming down really low right now, and you being able to have negotiation power, more inventory on the market, when you're seeing all these things right now, as a buyer, I would buy, right? I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm going to time the market, because I've seen this before, right? And I've done this for a while now. So when you're like trying to time the market, it doesn't necessarily always work out for you. It doesn't. So if you're thinking about buying an end user, just buy. Because realistically, in 5-10 years, the home's going to go up in value anyway. Every year, every time you see in Vancouver real estate, it's always been like
After
this.
A cycle, you'll win.
After a cycle, you'll win. So if you're thinking about trying to make money and make some money quick and stuff like that in the real estate, yeah, that's not the market right now for it.
Well,
but if you're looking for to get an amazing deal and something that you can probably be happy that you got, I'd definitely say buy.
Well, even if you wanted to make money real quick, regardless of what's going on, they've made it so difficult with the anti-flipping tax
Of course.
Everything going on, that making money quick with real estate isn't as realistic as it used to once be.
Not at all.
Not saying it's impossible.
No, I
but
agree.
Not as realistic.
I
as
agree
it
100%.
was, right?
I agree 100%.
And there's a lot of arguments to be made there. If it's a good thing, a bad thing. A lot of people say homes are for
sure.
people and living. Some people say no, there's assets and they're for investment, right? So there's both sides of the argument. But it'll be interesting to see what happens on June 10th. I'll tell you that much. So BC housing market data points to slower sales and more listings. We're back to the same headline we've been seeing, for the past 6 months?
Pretty much. Like,
right?
What do you want me to tell you? There's more listings, there's less demand. But at the same time, like, good product is still selling.
Well, good product's still rare.
Right? Good product. Exactly. Like, a lot of the stuff that's on the market today isn't, like, good product. Like, it's just a bunch of garbage. I think it's just a bunch of shit on the damn market right now. And realistically, like, yeah, like, I'm seeing, like, my clients that are looking in the West End right now.
Fast.
Not even Mara. Just yesterday, I was on a showing in the West End on some properties in Shaughnessy, and I was calling around to set up showings. I remember, Marvin, remember this? We were talking about this. A lot of properties that I was calling and searching for had already accepted offers after being on the market for a week or two. Especially, I noticed some in the Riley Park area, too. A lot of them were moving pretty quick.
Your A-list properties, the ones that are turnkey ready, the ones that don't need a lot of work to bring them up to to standard, those ones are moving quick. Anything else that needs a lot of work, has bad location.
Yeah, for sure. Good properties are moving, priced correctly, and there's still, even with good properties, there's still that room to be able to get a decent deal. Now, if you want to be if you want to be a little bit too much and go low ball and offend people, if it's a good property, you're not going to get it because there's other people who's interested in it as well. Especially on key locations, because there's a lot of properties that are in some pockets of some neighborhoods that people specifically want. So once those hit the market, they move fast.
I bet they do.
They do.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it happen with Mara.
With our own listings, of course. Yeah.
So we've seen it happen firsthand, which is still like, right. So it all comes down to this. If the property is good, right? Good location, turnkey, as you said, Marvin, and the price is priced well, because a lot of buyers are still unrealistic. A lot of sellers are still unrealistic.
They still want fucking 2021 prices.
And you know what? We're seeing unrealistic buyers too, because some buyers just think everything's on discount right now and they can put whatever sort of offer they want on any property, but that's not realistic either, right? there is still a bottom line.
It is if you understand the seller's motivation and need. There is some properties that right now that people are like estate sales where the person can't take care of it anymore and it's just accumulating. It's accumulating for them cost right now because it's just sitting empty. For them, there is some motivation in there to be able to get a good deal and buy the property for a good deal. The sellers are going to be more realistic. But then there's the sellers that are in the market that really don't want to sell. They're just trying to cash out and they're thinking to themselves that I'm going to get 2021 or 2022 prices. It's not going to happen. It's just those days are gone. And I think more and more people are realizing that, and they have realized that. And the ones that don't really need to sell just take the property off the market and wait for the next cycle. And the ones that have to sell or have a reasoning to sell, they have to accept what's going on and happen. But again, if you're selling in a market that's slow, and you have to buy again, you're also buying in a market that's slow too.
That's true. So if you're upsizing, downsizing, it doesn't really matter, right? But then again, it is important how you do it and how
you structure the deal,
of course. The deal and how much urgency you have as well, because you don't want to miss out on the market once you're doing that. All right. Burnaby strengthens tenants' protection for redevelopment. Burnaby announced on May 28th that it has formalized its tenant assistance policy into citywide tenant protection bylaw. The city says the bylaw applies to qualifying redevelopment where the previous site had at least 5 proposed built rental units, even when the rezoning is not required. Okay, so essentially, it's a new bylaw. Actually, could you pull this one up, Marvin? Would you pull the article for this one up? Burnaby strengthens tenants' protection for redevelopment.
City of Burnaby tenant protection bylaw update.
There we go.
Right there, the second one. City of Burnaby strengthens tenants. Yeah, there you go.
There we go. Yeah.
Previous site has at least 5 purpose-built rental units, even when no rezoning is required. Additionally, the new bylaw will add new enforcement tools and improve communication with tenants throughout the redevelopment process. We want Burnaby to be a city that is affordable and where you can stay in the neighborhood you call home and love, said Mayor Mike Hurley at the City of Burnaby. Is this guy coming up for re-election or something? Or what's going on here? Because I don't know what the intent here is for what he's doing.
Well,
Burnaby's tenant protections are already delivering positive results. Rental homes have been offered to displaced tenants for 4 complete redevelopment projects as of November 31st. And residents of 91 households have moved back into the brand new buildings at the same rent they paid before. Redevelopment plus any, but isn't that usually wasn't that always the case where you would redevelopment?
They re-strengthened it,
and then they would have the I don't know if it was able to get moved back in at market rent at the price they were paying before.
Yeah, I think it would increase. There would be an increase.
But now it's like, okay, so now you're not paying.
But what sort of incentive is there for the developer to redevelop when you can't increase the cap rate?
When the redevelopment of a property only has 10 units and he can turn those 10 units by tearing the building down and making it into 60, 70 units. Right. He can give back
the 10 units.
10, 15,
well, I mean, that's
units.
the least you can do.
That's the least, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, that's the least
I'm actually glad.
Do. Yeah, that's a good thing. So,
because people are like, they're having tough times. Like, we need to, like, I know we're realtors and whatever, but people are having a hard time being able to, like, live in the city as well.
Especially nowadays.
Right? Like, seriously.
Especially nowadays.
It's actually not a bad thing.
All right, this one's an interesting one. Are you struggling there, buddy?
Fine, man. Shut up.
Okay.
Another high rise by the broad bridge there.
And
you guys see the Sinnock towers, the completed rental towers there?
I haven't. Oh yeah. So those are actually. Did you see the prices? They're rental.
The sizes, they're like dog crate.
Yeah, but
Dog crate rentals.
Oh, the one in Vancouver by the Molson Brewery across the mall. Yeah. I did. They were like, I think a junior bachelor or something.
It's like 350 square
3
feet.
and 10 for like $1,800 or something like that.
Pull it up right now.
That's insane.
Yeah, pull up the prices.
You know what's funny? Before
$5 a foot.
Did you see before that article came out? We were driving by there, and I'm like, look at these balconies. They look disgusting. Remember that?
Remember I told you it's leasehold. It was right. I was like, this is definitely leasehold land. Oh. So I heard a stat. It comes out to around $5 a foot for rent, which is ridiculous. So 850 square feet, you're paying like $4,700 a month.
There's a 4-bedroom in that building too, but there's only one 4-bedroom.
There's only one 4-bedroom in the
entire whole thing. There's only one 4-bedroom.
And it's 1,000 square feet, right?
Something around like that.
Yes, it's very small.
Yeah.
Why do they keep making them smaller?
Well, that's what I don't understand. Like, that's what's going to have to. You're going to start. I think that we're going to start seeing a shift in profit because people are done living in these matchboxes. They're done. Like,
I believe they had the plans already approved for these before the market started turning down.
Yeah. And I think the rents they had in mind, the original rents they had in mind, were still like 2020 rents, right? Where rents were going crazy. And now
rents are down.
Yeah, like all across
like
the
the
board.
price points for rent was ridiculously high for what they're like. I thought like.
And the units do not come with parking.
Okay, I think this whole like going carless thing is ridiculous.
Well, it is and it isn't. It is.
Elaborate.
It is. It isn't because, like, okay, if you are in a central city like downtown where you don't really need a car,
Right.
What's the point of really needing parking and using that extra
Tell me
space
this.
to do that?
Do you need parking in Burnaby?
If I'm in Brentwood and I'm going to be around there and I work around there, no. But like, if you really need parking, if I'm going to be driving, yes. Like me personally, I'll need parking.
That's what I'm saying. But a lot of people are like that.
Of course, it is. But like, we have to accept that, especially BC is moving towards the green. Like no cars, no this, no that. And that's one of the reasons like one of our major bridges aren't mainly getting upgraded. While you'll never see the Lions Gate Bridge getting upgraded. They've been talking about plans of trying to get... No one's going to be doing this because they want to keep cities. And I think transit is going to start becoming a bigger and bigger thing. And I think this parking thing is... We're still going to see a lot of buildings not have parking.
Here's an interesting one. Former Molson Brewery site could shift from industrial land to mixed-use high-rise.
I heard about this. Yeah. That's been sitting empty for like about 5-6 years, it seems like.
Well, they stopped business in 2019. It's sitting on a 7.7 acre lot.
Wow.
And here's what's happening. So Vancouver staff are asking council to move forward with the regional and local planning amendments for the former Molson Brewery land at 1550 Burrard Street and 1655 West 1st Avenue. The proposal would support a future mixed-use high-rise redevelopment with employment space, housing, and amenities, but provincial staff have raised concerns about industrial land loss.
So tell me this, Marvin. Can you pull up for me this the Squamish Nation rental project? How big was that land? Can you find out for me how big that? Because that had 6,000 purpose-built rentals. This is 7.7 acres. I want to see how big that one is and how massive a big project is that going to be getting.
Fair enough.
Because the infrastructure there is not as strong as it needs to be. It's already a pretty traffic-based area.
It is,
so,
yeah. So traffic's also a big concern.
10.5 acres land as Kitts Point, that is roughly 4 hectares of 4. So it's 10.7. Okay. So if they built 6,000 purpose-built homes on 6,000 rental homes on 10.5 acres, and this one's about 8 acres, 7.7. So it's not going to be as big.
But it's not going to be that as
small either. Probably it's going to be what, like 4,000?
Well, it really depends on a lot of different things, right? But this is mixed use.
So they're trying to do mixed use. So it might even redevelopment. So we don't know if it's going to be employment space, housing, amenities. It can be a lot more. Actually, for the rentals, they have...
Make them actual livable sizes too.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Wait, Marvin, see if there's any renderings, anything they've proposed.
No, this I believe just came. Oh, I don't know. Check.
Maybe they have some renderings. Let's see if there's any renderings, any ideas, any concepts, anything they've got going on. What's that?
How are you? Hi, girl. This is not Concord non-industrial land use change for Molson. Okay, so they've been pushing for this since 2020.
Yeah, so it's been
or even longer. But that looks good on how that would kind of wow.
That is kind of nice, actually. I wouldn't mind that.
If something like that does arise from there, pretty nice. But
I feel like Vancouver.
But okay, how are those people going to get out? Like this is
bikes. What you said, no driving, bikes and scooters.
That's that little False Creek ferry taxi.
You're gonna need a lot more of those. You're gonna need an actual ferry.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the Payam Ali Podcast. We post everything about Greater Vancouver real estate or local news. So if you live in Greater Vancouver, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Or even if you're just here for the dogs, make sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notification button so you won't miss a post. See you guys in the next one.
Peace.